What's up, everybody? I'm Chris Dailey, joined here by Wycombe Wanderers forward Alex Samra. So, Alex, thanks, for coming on, and I look forward to talking to you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I saw you reached out, and I had a look at your page and what you've done and your website, and I thought what you're doing is awesome, dude. Honestly, it's brilliant.
Thank you.
So, yeah, it's a pleasure. So, thank you for having me on.
Thank you. So, you grew up in Wales. What was your youth career really like? Growing up in Wales.
So, youth career, I was brought up in a very small town on the west coast of Wales, which is called Aberystwyth. Can you try and say that?
Aberystwyth. I can't say it. I'll just call it, and I have that in a future question. So.
Hey, I'll teach you a bit of Welsh in this, so don't worry. Yeah. I'll teach you a bit of Welsh. But so I grew up there probably for around 16 when I got, my football started to get a bit serious. But I was playing for Aberystwyth Town, and at the age of 15, 16, I played for Aberystwyth in the Welsh Premier League, which is the men's football.
Yeah.
So being 15, 16 years old, you're literally playing against, you've got 30, 40-year-old men was, pretty intimidating. But it really helped my development, my strength, and to prepare me, So that was kind of my really youth days in Aberystwyth.
Yeah, and you must have done pretty well because, you had offers from a lot of big Premier League clubs. You decided to go to Swansea. So how was that transition really going to, a Premier League side?
So Swansea at the time was in the Premier League. And if you remember Brendan Rodgers, who was their manager at the time, terrific manager. And it was a huge transition, I think. The higher you go, the quicker tempo it is, the fitter you have to be. So that jump from Welsh Premier League to, that level was a big jump. But, I just had to work hard and, I got to that level.
Yeah, and so, you're at Swansea, you get loaned out back to the Welsh Premier League, to Greenock, Morton, becoming kind of an immediate star, becoming a starter, and you're such a young age, too. And then you kind of go back to Swansea and get injured. What were you thinking as you really picked up that injury?
So I was at Swansea. So Greenock Morton now is in Scotland. So that was north of the country. So that's just above England. So I went there for a year and I came back to Swansea. So that was, again, loan experiences are really good for young footballers like me. Back a few years ago, it was a really good way of developing the player that I am today, and really learn the other side of football, how to look after yourself, making meals, and trying to not eat too much pizza, trying to keep healthy. But I did well. But Swansea was a great experience for me, and I thoroughly enjoyed my time there.
Yeah, and you've had a pretty successful time at Swansea, but kind of at other clubs like Newport County, where you get loaned out to them, help them avoid relegation. Winning 5 of the last 7, kind of unheard of. The Great Escape. So and won Player of the Year. So what's your most memorable moment from your time, kind of at Newport County?
It's got to be that last day. It was incredible. We were 10 minutes to go in the game for the the game being finished. We were being relegated because we were drawing. We had to win. And the week before, I unfortunately pulled my hamstring. So I was watching, so I could see all what was going on with the other teams. And I was like, we need to score a goal. And the whole crowd was saying, we need to score, we need to score. We were 5 minutes away from being relegated out of the Football League. So we were like, oh my gosh. And then our centre-back scored an absolutely incredible goal. And everyone just went nuts. We're like, oh my gosh. And we survived. But honestly, I wouldn't want to be in a situation like that again. But I've got to say, it's one of the most memorable moments of my career so far.
And it's funny because when I ever interview, professional guys that are in promotion relegation countries, because I'm in America, so it's kind of closed system here, but they always say the most memorable moment of their playing career is either, escaping relegation or, getting promoted. It's, always one of those two. So, your time at...
100%. I can vouch for that.
Yeah, and your time at Swansea, comes to a close and you go to Stevenage. How did that move really come about?
So it was, again, it's been kind of a whirlwind for me. I think I was 21, so I was getting married as well to my wife, Rachel. And 3 weeks before getting married, we decided to go to sign for Stevenage, which was, so I know 3 hours for you American lot is not far, but for us British, it is far. 3 hours is a long way because the roads are not straight at all. So we had to move. We decided, 3 weeks before getting married. So there's a lot of things going on, but that move again was a very tough move, just because I had a lot of injuries. It was a really tough year for me, probably the hardest of my career, just because I had a lot of injuries. I wasn't playing regularly. So yeah, that was really tough. It was tough.
And you mentioned kind of these injuries. Like, how do you stay mentally motivated while injured and kind of on the bench watching things from afar?
Yeah, so that's a great question, because I think it's a side of football that you don't really talk about, but having injuries can really cause like a real isolation. And I think a lot are injured. But I think I had so many good people around me. I'm a Christian, and I had some incredible Christian people around me to support me and help me and pray for me and really got me through it. And it really, pushed me on. And I think as long as you have people around you, good people around you, then you can get through anything,
Yeah, and so, you mentioned getting through stuff. I mean, you got released by Stevenage. And, the mental side of the game kind of comes back again in this question, because, like, what do you really, what's your mindset like being released, because you could definitely be down in the dumps at that time?
Yeah, that was so tough because, obviously I just got, been a year married. They let me go because I've just been injured for quite a while with my ankle. And it was a really tough place. I was looking at my bills and I'm like, I've got bills to pay. I'm not in contract. I was like, oh my days, and again, it was really my faith that really got me through it. It really helped me, and it really pushed me through and just kept believing that, there was good around the corner. So it's just about keeping going and putting my trust in God. And honestly, it worked out. And, that's when Wycombe came calling then.
And so, you're now at Wycombe. You signed Gareth Ainsworth. He, is a very successful manager. He's been there forever. The Football League's longest-serving manager, I believe. So, what's it kind of like having him as, your coach?
He's one of the best managers I've played under. His huge strength is player management. He is so good with his teammates. Even just at Wycombe, the culture of Wycombe, you can be yourself. There's a lot of times where footballers think they have to put on this we have to be big. Do you know what I mean? But there, you can literally be who you are, and because I play guitar, right? I was able to play guitar in my initiation song. When you first sign. We were playing Bradford away, and I got my guitar out, and we were all singing, and it was brilliant. So that's what I mean. It's so good because you can be yourself, and yeah, Gareth Ainsworth is honestly a top man and a top manager. So it's great as well. When you have a manager like that, your players want to play for him. You want to do the best that you can for him as well because of the guy that he is.
Yeah, and Gareth, he's in a band as well, so you kind of share that musical connection right there. So this season, this season at Wycombe, you guys were doing pretty good. Third place in the league in the points per game right now. So, do you have any word on the promotion relegation this season? I've heard some things, but do you, as a player, have anything?
Regarding what, be in a place of promotion?
Yeah, the playoffs, do you know if that's gonna happen or anything?
Oh, so yeah. So honestly, it is. So obviously, we've heard news, haven't we, that obviously, the Premier League is going back. But honestly, I think League One, nobody can come with a decision yet. There's teams that want to keep on playing because of their position. Then you've got teams who want to finish the season, and so it's all for us players. Honestly, we're quite in the dark with it, and we're still just the decision is being delayed and delayed. So we're honestly in a place where we don't have a clue ourselves. We're just waiting to see what happens in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, and it's funny because I'm reading all these stories and the bottom table clubs are like, okay, let's end the season, no relegation. The top Liverpool and stuff, they're like, let's play. We want the trophy. So we mentioned
it's crazy. It is a crazy time.
Yeah, and we mentioned guitar before and the music and everything. How did your passion for music really come about, and where did that really come from?
So my passion for music, like I've always loved rock growing up and that kind of music. I remember listening to Guns N' Roses, Metallica, all them quality bands. I used to rock out in my bedroom, growing up with them. And I remember I was in a little band. I was a drummer at start in a little band in school, and I saw the guitarist and he was pulling up these riffs, and I was like, oh, I want to play guitar. I want to do that. So then I just went on YouTube and just learned it myself. And by at 13, I decided to learn guitar. And by that time then, I've just been practicing. Me and my wife, my wife as well, she's, this is where I'm currently at. She's recording an album as well, which is exciting. So we are really heavily in the music, and I play at church as well, which helps as well. So yeah, I'm quite heavily as a family, we're quite heavily in music.
Yeah, and maybe that's your next career after football kind of. Yeah, so
you never know.
Yeah, so now I just have a few rapid fire questions for you. So quick rapid fire that kind of
Yeah.
So
far away.
Yeah. So what's your favorite stadium you've ever played in?
Oh, I think there's two comes to mind. When I was in Scotland, I played against Rangers at Ibrox, and that was an incredible experience. They had 42,000, and it was packed, and we drew 2-2, which was a really good result there. The noise is unbelievable, and I think more recently, probably the Stadium of Light at Sunderland. I mean, I remember walking out. I just signed my proper contract at Wycombe, and the next game was at the Stadium of Light. And I remember walking out, and I was just like, wow, this is what dreams are made of. This is the stadiums you want to be playing in. Yeah. So I'd say them two really come to mind.
Yeah, and Luke O'Neill was the Wycombe guy who's now at Sunderland. So who's the best player you've ever played against?
Oh, played against. Oh, that's a good question. I think we played last year against Charlton, and I think he was a centre mid for Charlton. He plays for Rangers now. Aribo, I think.
Oh, Ebre.
He's just signed for That's it. Yeah. He is a very good player. I think he was one that really standed out.
I thought wasn't he at Wycombe back in the day? I think. So
Oh, maybe. Maybe. Yeah.
I think he was loaned to Wycombe back in 2016, 2017. So what's your favorite song?
I think it's Ezzy.
Ebre Ezzy.
Is it Ezzy? Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's a good question though. Really good question.
Favorite song?
Favorite song? Oh, you know what? This goes back in the 80s. So I love She Sells Sanctuary by The Cult. And I know you probably never heard of that, but probably the older lot would do that. But that's one of the favorite songs of mine.
Yeah. What's your favorite meal? Dinner, lunch, breakfast, anything.
I love pizza, man. I love pizza. I think I think you can't beat a good pizza.
Yeah, I agree with you there. So in 3 words, describe yourself.
Determined, positive, and relentless.
Yeah. Who's your funniest teammate?
Funniest teammate, I would say, is David Stockdale, is the goalkeeper. He's on loan from Birmingham right now. I don't know if you've seen some videos on the Chairboys chat, but he came dressed as I think Elvis Presley or something. I don't know what he was wearing, but he's he makes me laugh every single time I meet him.
Yeah. So what's the favorite city you've traveled to?
Favorite city? Ooh, I think Edinburgh. I think Edinburgh in Scotland is honestly one of the most beautiful cities I've been to, and I went there quite a few times when I was in Scotland.
What's one city you'd like to travel to that you haven't been to?
Oh, I'd love to go to. I know I don't know if it's a city, but I'd love to go to LA. I'd love to. We were planning, actually, me and my wife were going to do a road trip. We've got a lot of friends in the States. Unfortunately, this Corona thing hit, so we've had to postpone that trip. But yeah, I'd love to go out in the States as well.
And if you could sit down and eat dinner with 3 people, who would they be?
Oh, one is, you know what, my childhood hero. I know one, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh yeah, bodybuilder.
Yeah, I think he is awesome. I love his films. I love just what he's done with his life. Oh, who else? You know what? That's a good question. You know what? I'd like to see Donald Trump just to have a good chat with him and just see what he's saying and see what he's like in person. Because you hear so much stuff over here. I think Donald Trump would be a really let's see what you're about in person. I think that would be quite a good one. I don't know what Arnie might have a little fight with him. I don't know, but who else? Through another person. You know what? I don't actually know. Maybe the Queen. Get the Queen in there as well. Why not?
That's quite the trio. So I mean, those are really
Could you imagine that happening?
yeah, it's really it's just crazy. So I mean, that's really all the questions I have for you, and I mean, I thank you for your time, and it's really been great talking to you on this interview.
Honestly, Chris, great to speak to you, and I love what you're doing. And keep it up.
Thank you. So I mean, I'm Chris Dailey from the Sports Court, joined here by Alex Samurai, and we're signing off, everybody. See ya.